Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at Noon.
2 water main breaks flood homes and cause lane closures in Lexington.
An attorney for the former Lexington firefighter accused of smashing his car into a bar says his client was never aware of an outstanding warrant for his arrest in Georgia.
No surprise here, another beautiful day to finish off our work week. We head toward the weekend, and it still looks good for most of us. We will have a slight chance at rain as we head toward the latter portion of the weekend. I'll break down those details coming up hour by hour. WKYT News and News starts right now.
Good afternoon. It's a busy day here at WKYT News. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Barbara Bailey. In our news, 2 separate water main breaks caused quite a mess in Lexington.
One left several feet of water inside at least one home. Another is still tying up traffic here at midday on one of Lexington's busiest roads. WKYT's Mark Barber is tracking the efforts to try to get everything repaired. It's our top story at noon. Mark?
Crews say a water main break here on Nicholasville Road tied up traffic, while a second water main break a couple blocks away on Rosemont Garden flooded homes. While crews have fixed the water main breaks, they say it will take some time to repair the damage. Crews believe a leaking gasket on a valve caused the Nicholasville Road water main break around 10:20 last night. Kentucky American Water tells us nearby hospitals, schools, and homes have not reported any issues. But it's quite a different story on Rosemont Garden, where another water main break flooded homes with up to 6 feet of water last night. Crews believe that water main break may have been caused by vibrations from nearby trains. Homeowners tell us the water main break sent water spilling into their houses, causing tens of thousands of dollars in damage. One family on Elam Park says they woke at midnight to find water rushing into their garage and basement. We're told they are still waiting to find out if their home is livable.
You're in shock. You know, you don't know what to think because this is your home, and now, you don't know how long you're going to be out of your home, how long it's going to take them to fix it.
While crews work to repair the water main here on Nicholasville Road, the right outbound lane will be closed between Penmoken and Wabash. They say they hope to be finished here by the end of the day. In Lexington, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Mark, thank you very much. We've been checking from back here, and we understand Kentucky American Water's insurance company will cover the cost of damages for those who have flooding.
A former firefighter charged in a hit-and-run crash
has been critically injured. A man, that was what happened in that situation, faced a judge again this morning. Several new details on the case against Jared McCargo were revealed in court this morning, including why the Lexington man had a warrant out for him in another state. WKYT's Sean Moody is at the courthouse now with the new details on that. Sean?
A judge approved the defense's request to reduce Jared McCargo's bond down to 10% from that initial $13,000 amount. We also found out a little bit more about what McCargo's attorney says happened with that outstanding warrant from Georgia.
A judge will send the case on to a Fayette County grand jury after she said there was probable cause to charge McCargo. A Lexington police officer said McCargo's wife told investigators she had driven to the beer trap but couldn't get the car parked. They say she told them McCargo then took over to park, and that's when the accident happened. They say McCargo drove away, but his wife came back to talk with investigators.
His wife came back to the scene and advised that her husband was driving the vehicle and identified him as Jared McCargo. She advised their address. Officers were dispatched to that address where they found Mr. McCargo and his vehicle. Mr. McCargo was hiding behind the garbage cans.
Police say after they read McCargo his rights, he said he wanted to help them, and they say he told them if he'd known the victim's injuries were that bad, he'd have stayed to help. Now, earlier this week, we also told you about an outstanding warrant for McCargo's arrest in Cobb County, Georgia. McCargo's attorney told us McCargo was a student at Alabama State University when he was charged in that case. He said McCargo told them he had dealt with an attorney at the time who told him the case was taken care of. He said McCargo never knew there was a warrant out for his arrest.
Now, we also found out a little bit more about how Captain Noel Espino's doing. He's the Guam National Guard soldier who was hurt in the accident. A police officer said today that Espino has had several surgeries, and he was scheduled to have another one this morning, which may have been postponed because of his other injuries. They say he's still in the UK trauma unit. In Lexington, Sean Moody, WKYT.
Thank you, Sean. Police said McCargo registered a .119 on a preliminary breath test.
We're learning more here today about a boating accident on the Ohio River that left 2 people dead. Investigators now say the victims were 2 off-duty FBI employees. They were on a small party boat when it collided with a barge. The men were the only 2 on board. Investigators believe that speed and alcohol were both factors in the crash.
The state medical examiner's office will perform an autopsy on a man shot by a clerk during a robbery. 20-year-old Devin Marshall died yesterday at UK Hospital. Winchester police say the owner of the 96 truck stop fired at Marshall and Curtis Wilkinson when they tried to rob his store earlier this week. Wilkinson is in jail, charged with robbery.
Well, if you're planning to watch a high school football game tonight or, festivals over the weekend, it looks like the weather is really going to cooperate.
WKYT meteorologist Micah Harris is tracking the conditions for kickoff live in our First Alert Weather Center. Micah?
Well, for some reason, if you've been sitting around the past few days and just haven't been able to see us here on WKYT, and you're saying all week long it's been beautiful. Now, we go toward Friday, and I bet we have some rain there for the football games. Well, you would be losing that bet because it's beautiful outside. We'll have blue skies, and it looks good as we head toward the evening, too. We're sitting there in the 70s, even some locations approaching 80 degrees, 78 in the London Corbin area. It'll be pretty warm there for the World Chicken Festival as we head toward the rest of the afternoon off into the evening. Friday night football, very mild. I don't even think you need a coat for tonight. It's one of those, if you get pretty chilly easily, take a long sleeve shirt, but the rest of us, I think we'll be good to go just to throw on a short sleeve shirt and take off rooting for our teams tonight. Focus of the forecast, the last weekend of September, and we actually have some changes as opposed to the past several days with nothing's changed. So I'll show you that forecast and when you can expect a little rain in there coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Micah, thank you. We'll see you in a little bit. Police think a fire at a suburban Chicago air traffic control facility was intentionally set. Emergency crews found a contract worker in the basement with a self-inflicted wound and took him to the hospital. The man also had burns. The fire at the facility shut down Chicago's 2 airports, prompting flight cancellations all across the country. Now, we'll show you how it's caused some problems at Lexington's Bluegrass Airport. A report on that coming up in our next half hour, but there are delays and cancellations at Lexington as a result of that situation in Chicago. Students at Eastern Kentucky University are being put on alert after a robbery on campus was reported. The victim told campus police that he was near Sullivan Hall when a man began talking with him and his friend. After a few minutes, a second man supposedly walked up and pulled out a gun and demanded money. The robber and his friend left with the victim's money. The crime supposedly happened on Sunday, but campus officials say the victim didn't report it until now.
Police are looking for the gunman who robbed a Lexington business. It happened around 7:45 this morning at the Foodland Market on Eureka Springs Drive. The clerk says when a man came in demanding money, he thought the man was joking until he saw a gun. There were some customers in the store at the time. The clerk says the man took about $50 from the register. And a robber walked up to a fast food restaurant and helped himself. Police say the masked man stole from the Sonic on New Circle near Bryan Station around 11 o'clock last night. The man walked up to the drive-through window and took the drawer from the cash register while no one was looking.
There was extra security around some Lexington schools this morning after a possible attempted luring. It happened yesterday near Bryan Avenue and Arsimi Avenue. A Bryan Station High School student ran to a nearby business after she says a man in a white truck offered her a ride. Fayette County Schools sent out a letter to parents detailing the incident. They went to the parents of Bryan Station High School, Crawford Middle School, and Arlington Elementary students.
Well, if you have any used or unwanted medication in your home, now's the time to get rid of it. Lexington will host a med toss tomorrow. You can drop off expired or unused medication at Kentucky American Water on Richmond Road between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. It's one of many drug take-back events across the state and country for the DEA National Take Back Initiative.
Kentucky Kingdom's owners say the 2014 season was such a success that they will now invest tens of millions of dollars on new rides for next year. The theme park will be adding 5 new attractions for a total of $30 million in upgrades. Nearly 600,000 people came to Kentucky Kingdom in 2014. They're hoping to top those numbers next year. Well, fans now have double the chance to enjoy one of country music's biggest acts of all time.
Garth Brooks announced this morning that he'll add 2 more shows to the Lexington leg of his concert tour. Deanne Stevens is live at the 98.1 The Bull studio with more on the exciting news. Deanne.
Hey, good afternoon, Bill and Barb. Everyone is so excited that Garth Brooks has added 2 more shows. Originally, there was going to be like a 6:30 and 6:30 on October 31st and November 1st, but now 2 more, and those will be like 10 o'clock shows. Officer Dawn and I have been very busy. They're getting their work out of us today, aren't they?
Oh, they are. We're here for the long run until we know exactly how many shows Garth's going to play, or they all sell out.
Okay, so what's pretty exciting is every few minutes we keep getting these phone calls from a guy named Bobby who's literally sitting right there with Garth Brooks, and they're like, let's add another show. We love playing Lexington, so we're just kind of waiting here on pins and needles to see how many more shows he might add.
Well, and we just heard from him a couple of minutes ago. He said that there's still some tickets available for Friday night show. He didn't want to say sold out for anything, but Friday night show, you can get online and see. And here's the thing, if you go online on your account, it'll tell you, what you just hit reset, and it'll take you to the next show. So don't give up if you don't have tickets yet.
Well, and we've told people the best thing to do is go to Ticketmaster.com/Garth Brooks. Make sure that you're pre-registered. Now, we've also been getting some information from other folks who've been making phone calls. They've been calling the 1-800 number for Ticketmaster. They said that was kind of a simple process, maybe a little bit easier than refreshing your computer. And there's a few other ways to get them too. So you want to make sure that you continue to listen and watch, because there is a very good possibility, Bill and Barb, that more tickets, more shows might open up. And listen, look what I have. I'll cover up the number. All right, is that all right? I'll cover up.
You're the one I'm worried about, so you might as well let everybody know. I trust them.
Really? I have Officer Dodd's credit card. We've been using this morning to buy our own tickets for the Garth Brooks show. So a lot of excitement surrounding the show. And again, there is a very good possibility that there could be more shows opening up for Rupp Arena. We will wait and see.
Oh boy, it is exciting. Thank you. Tickets are $69 each. That includes taxes and facility fees as well. We'll keep waiting for more word from Deanne and Dawn.
Garth is going to come hang out with us, it looks like, for a few days. Well, coming next, New York officials downplay a subway terror threat as more countries join the fight against ISIS.
The latest on the terror threats ahead.
Also coming up on Kentucky's #1 midday news, we now know when one of Hollywood's most eligible bachelors is going off the market. The story coming up on WKYT News at noon.
More countries are getting into the fight against ISIS overseas.
And here at home, commuters are seeing beefed up patrols in the subway systems. Alfonso Van Marsh has the latest from New York.
U.S. Central Command says American and allied warplanes attacked 10 more ISIS targets in Iraq and Syria today. More countries, including Denmark and the Netherlands, are joining the anti-terror effort, and Britain's Prime Minister is rallying Parliament to join the fight.
This is about psychopathic terrorists that are trying to kill us, and we do have to realize that whether we like it or not, they have already declared war on us.
U.S. officials say there is no immediate threat from ISIS here at home, but there is more security after Iraq's prime minister warned captured Islamic State terrorists revealed a plan to target American subways.
Here in New York, commuters are seeing a heavier than usual police presence, but the NYPD is downplaying the threat, saying that New York City normally operates at a heightened sense of security.
Some in New York say they aren't concerned.
I have to live my life, and so I took the train.
It won't prevent me from doing the things that I want to do, at least for the interim.
Transit officials in Boston, Washington, and Los Angeles also reassured commuters there appears to be no immediate threat to their safety. Alfonso Van Marsh, CBS News, New York.
And the FBI says it knows the identity of the masked man in the ISIS beheading videos, but for now, they are not revealing his name.
George Clooney is getting married Monday to fiancée Amal Alamuddin.
Both arrived in Venice for their weekend wedding extravaganza. Officials in Venice are actually having to shut down parts of the Italian city in order to keep crowds away from the hotel where the pair is getting married.
Now, the two got engaged back in April. This is Clooney's second marriage and Alamuddin's first.
All right, we'll see how it all goes.
That's right. Well, some people trying to fly out of Lexington didn't take off as planned.
Yeah, find out how that fire in Chicago is creating big problems. That's coming up in a report at 12:30. Weather's on the way.
And we're looking at Madison County. Boy, a lot of blue skies. Surprise, surprise, right? We head toward the weekend, and we'll still have some really good weather for most of the weekend, but we do have some showers to talk about, and I'll talk about when you can expect those coming up next.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris and First Alert Defender.
Well, we're looking out and about and seeing a really, really nice day once again. There's no surprise here. We've been seeing this all week long. 77 in Frankfort, 77 in Richmond. Boy, is it a beautiful day. You look southbound, northbound, it doesn't really matter. I mean, all is well anywhere you look. We're sitting there in the mid-70s to upper 70s in all locations. So things look good. Look at Jackson, a lot of blue skies. Covington sitting there at 77. And then we have temperatures this afternoon will be going into the 80s for most of us. So we're sitting there around zone by zone. 82 there in Lexington is where we'll finish off. That goes for Frankfort, Harrodsburg already at 78 degrees. So it's only about 4 more degrees, maybe even hitting an 83 somewhere here and there. I mean, it's some warmer air moving on in, and you got to remember this. Typically this time of year we're at 75 degrees. So yeah, it's a little bit of that warmth kind of nudging itself on in, coming in from Tennessee. Yeah, we're looking good down toward the south. We got the Oktoberfest kicking off tomorrow there in Danville. Things look good in that location for tomorrow, too. Over toward the east, southeast, Hazard, Jackson. Yeah, we're doing all right. Sorghum Festival getting kicked off there in Morgan County. If you're sitting there over toward the east or anywhere, man, take off and enjoy over there. Pig Out Festival going on in Maysville, and things look good there, too. 80s now. We'll be in the 80s for tomorrow for all, too. So your weekend planner shapes up like this. 82 tomorrow, but the rain's not there. So the football game going on, yeah, it looks good. The morning hours will feel really, really nice. It's not that cool air that we have felt. As we look toward tomorrow, well, we have that chance of rain. Yeah, you heard me right, a chance of rain. We haven't seen that in about a week. Ryan Worthen, a friend of mine there in Lexington. What a beautiful shot. I asked you guys to send in these pictures. Check that out. If you missed that this morning, you missed out on a good one, but I do expect some clouds to be laying around tomorrow, but that's an absolutely wonderful shot. He always takes good pictures, good videos, and likes to send those in, so appreciate that, my man. All right, going in toward the weekend, 82 there on Saturday. It stays dry Sunday. Much of the day is going to be dry, so the conclusions of these festivals should be good to go, but still, maybe even expecting a couple of showers as we head toward the afternoon, off into the evening hours. That sticks around for Monday, but then check out next week. Yeah, we go right back into that drying trend. So if you're wanting some rain, you better cross your fingers, hope and pray it comes there on Saturday, or Sunday rather, off into Monday. That's a look at your weather. We'll have more news, weather, and sports coming up right after the break.
By this time tomorrow at Commonwealth Stadium, the football Wildcats will be trying to break a 17-game SEC losing streak, and to do that, they'll probably need more than the 14 total points they've scored against Vanderbilt in the last 3 seasons. The new Vandy coaching staff came to Nashville from Stanford, where the Cardinal defense was geared around stopping the run. That means the Cats might have to go to the air more, which in the past might have been trouble, but now the passing attack is a strength instead of a weakness.
They're getting sharper on the routes, and they're also getting smarter. That comes with experience and stuff. And they've played 3 big-time college football games. So they've recognized what works and what doesn't work, and they're starting to cut off some stuff, and it's really, really helping.
It's more detail-oriented things that they're getting better at, and we've been pretty simple so far. But they're getting better. They're getting better. Like really during the bye week, we really concentrated a lot on blocking. So I hope we see that when we suit up on Saturday.
In addition to the Cats, nice top 25 matchup in Central Kentucky this weekend. Georgetown College, ENAIA's 6th-ranked team, hosting number 24 Kentucky Christian. Georgetown looked about unstoppable in its first 2 weeks, putting complete performances together on both sides of the football. Bill Cronin says there's a reason for that level of performance.
This group seems to be bonding quite well. They seem to have a lot of interest in being successful. We'll just take it a day at a time. But I think I see a high ceiling here. I see where we can get a lot better than what we are right now, and I hope that'll come.
And tonight on the Big Blue Insider with Dick Gabriel, Joe Fisher, the radio voice of the Vanderbilt Commodores, an all-around good guy. And we'll find out about a new documentary being produced on UK football. That's at 6 on 630 WLAP. We'll get you ready for a full Friday night of football coming up at 4. And when we come right back, Barb and Bill back with more WKYT News at noon in a minute.